Hi everyone, this is Derek Twigo. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to create a clean and simple, yet grungy and dark minimalistic website design. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to jump into Photoshop, and this is what I'm creating here. I used a blue color and went ahead and added a region for carousel, added some nice fonts, and I just want to show you how to make this. So I'm going to jump into Photoshop, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to close down the document that I currently have running, and then from there I'm just going to create a new document. I'm going to use the web-based setting, and at that point I'm going to use a width of 800 pixels and a height of 720 pixels. And once I'm done with that, I'm just going to go ahead and expand my document to a size, turn on my rulers, and go ahead then and drag out a couple guides to both sides of that document. Once I finish with that there, I'm going to go to my canvas size and expand that width to 1280 for a 1280 by 20 pixel document size. I'm going to fill my background with a black color, and once I've done that, I'm going to select another color from my color palette, and what I'm looking for is a dark blue color, like a royal blue, that I can use to create a giant splotch, I guess you could say, in the middle of my design. It's going to go ahead here and adjust my brush size so I can find a size that works best for me, and I think that'll work. And I'm just going to go ahead and create a spot in the middle of a document. And so once I've done that, what I'm going to do is place a texture into my design. And once I have found that texture, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the place button, and I'm going to go ahead and rotate this texture so it's horizontal. I will be linking to this in my YouTube video description, so you can download this if you'd like. And I'm just going to expand it so that it fills the entire document. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and right click on the layer since it's a smart object, and I'm going to choose rasterize layer. And I'm going to go ahead and set for blending mode at that point. Excuse me, I'm going to desaturate the layer, and I'm going to adjust my level settings so that I can bring up the blacks, and I also want to bring up the whites a little bit as well. I want to create a very high contrast. Well, not too high, but somewhat. And once I'm done with that, I can set my blending mode to overlay. And those levels adjustments will really help it to pop, as you can see. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to take our opacity, bring it down. This varies by taste and how strong you want it to be. I like it to be not too strong, but not too subtle at the same time. And once you finish with that, you're going to take your your rectangle tool and draw a box all the way from over the top to below the bottom of your document. Make sure that it is a black color, and adjust your fill opacity of that layer to just a fill that suits you best. I tend to like to go for a dark color, but this is totally up to your own judgment and tastes. Once you've settled on that, what we're going to do is we're going to add a stroke to this shape, and it's just going to be a simple inside placed 1 pixel stroke. And when you finish with that, we're going to add another layer style, and you might notice that you can't see that stroke very well. That might be because your shape is too dark, so adjust that accordingly. But what I'm going to go ahead and do first is I'm going to add another layer style, and I'm going to use a drop shadow. And I'm going to use 90 degrees, a distance of 0, and a size of 10. Leave everything else the same, click OK. And I'm going to reduce my fill once again, just so that I can really see that black stroke and shadow along the edges of my document even more pronounced. The final thing I'm going to do is add an inner shadow, and I'm going to set this once again to 90 degrees and bring my distance down to 0 and my size to 1. Now, this is a setting that I don't use too much, but I'm pretty familiar with it in a little bit, so I'm going to just play with it here and see what happens, and experiment. And what it's going to create is it's going to create this nice glowing effect inside. And I'm going to go ahead now and just reduce my opacity, since I like that a lot, but keep it way down so that it just creates this nice complementing white line. And once you find one that you like, go ahead and click OK. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my logo to this design, and so to do that I'm going to take my type tool and I'm just going to type out my name. I'm going to keep my text justified to the right, and I'm going to use Myriad Pro, and I'm just going to type in my YouTube username. And I'm going to go ahead and select a color that I like for that after I set that to 30 pixels. And I'm going to make that white. And I'm also just going to select part of my text and make that gray, just to offset it and to make it look kind of interesting. I'm going to create my navigation next, and so to do that I'm just going to type in some links. I'm going to type in home, about, works, and I'm going to type in connect. Select all of those, change those to a color that is most appropriate to what you like, and click OK, and set my font size to 14. Keep your line height at 24, and go ahead and move this over. And again, these values can be anything that you want, whatever works for you. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rectangle tool once again, and I'm going to drag out a box in the middle of this document. I'm just going to think about the size and the placement that I'm looking for here, and I think that works for me. I'm going to make it black. Once I've finished with that, I'm going to go ahead and copy the layer styles of my original shape that I created and paste those onto my new shape. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable the inner shadow, because I'm not sure what I like how that works out there. I'm going to go ahead and nudge that into place just so that it looks evenly spaced and aligned. I know it could be better, but you get the general idea. And I'm going to visit my web gallery because there's an image there that I would like to use that would be perfect for this in my opinion. So I'm just going to go in there and copy it out. And I'm going to jump back into Photoshop and I'm going to paste it right above that new shape. I'm going to bring the opacity down so I can see that shape right below it, see that outline, and just reduce this down. And I'm just going to nudge it here somewhat just so I can get it in there. I want a good composition of this here. And once I have that in there, the way that I like it, I'll go ahead and hit return. And I'm going to make a selection of the shape underneath it. And with the photograph selected, just create a mask. And as you can see, that makes it real nice. Remember to bring the opacity of your image back up to 100% so that you can see it. And from there, you're pretty much done. I'm going to say now, I'm going to add some, once I move it, I'm going to go ahead and add some text here for my copyright. All content copyright your name. Pick a color, of course, to adjust that to. And yeah. So anyways, I hope that this video has been helpful. If you like it, please click the like button or subscribe or comment. I greatly appreciate it. If you don't like it, please feel free to leave me a feedback so I can improve next time. And thanks very much. I've enjoyed making this video and I hope that you like it. Thanks very much.